The first time I heard my father-in-law's voice on that phone call, I thought I was dreaming. It was late, too late for any normal conversation. The house was quiet, my daughter asleep, and my wife, Lila, was supposedly at her weekly book club. But the hushed words slipping from the cracked bathroom door stopped me cold. "You're doing the right thing, sweetheart. He doesn't deserve you." That voice, calm, assuring. My blood turned to ice. Because the man whispering those words wasn't just anyone. He was Richard Whitmore, my ex-father-in-law, the man who had welcomed me into his family with open arms. The same man who had patted my back at my wedding and told me, "Take care of my little girl." And now, he was telling her to betray me. 2 years ago, Lila and I were the couple everyone envied. High school sweethearts, married at 25, with a beautiful home and a daughter, Mia, who was the light of my life. Richard had always been more than a father-in-law. He was a mentor, the kind of man who gave advice without being asked and slipped me an extra beer at family BBQs. But then, things changed. Lila started coming home later. Her phone was always face down. She laughed less with me, more with someone else, someone whose name I didn't know. I told myself I was paranoid, until the night I heard him on the phone. Richard wasn't just covering for her. He was encouraging her. I should have barged in, screamed, demanded answers. But I didn't. Instead, I listened. "Dad, what if he finds out?" Lila's voice was shaky. "He won't," Richard replied smoothly. "You're careful. And even if he does, so what? You've been unhappy for years." Unhappy? The word hit me like a slap. "Just keep seeing Mark," Richard continued. "When the time's right, you'll leave." Mark. A name. A face I didn't know. A man who had been touching my wife while her own father cheered them on. The next morning, Lila acted normal. Kissed me goodbye. Smiled at Mia. But I wasn't the same. I dug deeper. Checked her phone when she showered. Scrolled through deleted messages. And there was proof. Photos of her and Mark at a hotel. Text from Richard. "You deserve happiness. Don't let guilt stop you." The worst part? He was right. Because when I finally confronted Lila, her words shattered me. "I fell out of love with you a long time ago." No tears. No fight. Just cold, quiet truth. And Richard? He didn't apologize. He just looked at me and said, "Sometimes love isn't enough." But this wasn't about love. This was about betrayal. And I wasn't going to let them get away with it. I didn't cry when Lila moved out. I didn't scream when she took Mia for the weekend, leaving our house, my house, echoing with silence. No, I did something worse. I planned. Because Richard thought this was over. He thought I'd slink away, broken and defeated, while he and Lila moved on like I never existed. But I had one thing they didn't expect. A recording. That night, the night I heard Richard's voice through the bathroom door, I hadn't just listened. I'd recorded it. Every word. Every sickening encouragement. The way he coached her like she was some prize he was handing to another man. At first, I didn't know what to do with it. Throw it in her face during the divorce? Send it to Richard's smug friends? But then I realized something. This wasn't just about Lila. This was about him. And I was going to ruin him. I started small. I waited until Richard's annual charity gala, the one where he played the role of the generous philanthropist in front of the whole town. And then I showed up, uninvited. The moment I walked in, the room stiffened. Whispers slithered through the crowd. "Isn't that Lila's ex? Poor guy. I heard she left him for someone else." Richard spotted me instantly. His smile froze, but he recovered fast, striding over like we were old friends. "Didn't expect to see you here," he said, voice low. I smiled. "Wouldn't miss it." Then I leaned in. "By the way, how's Mark? Still sleeping with my wife?" His face drained of color. I walked away before he could respond. Let him sweat. Lila called me the next day, furious. "What the hell was that?" she hissed. "Just saying hello," I said calmly. "You embarrassed him." I almost laughed. "Oh, I'm just getting started." She hung up. Good, because my next move was bigger. I sent an anonymous email to Richard's business partners, a clip of that damning phone call. Just a taste. Within hours, his CFO called an emergency meeting. Richard didn't know it yet, but his perfect empire was about to crack. I should have stopped there, but I wanted him to hurt the way I did. So I dug deeper, and that's when I found her. Claire, Richard's late first wife, Lila's mother. The woman who supposedly died in a car accident years ago. Except the police report didn't add up. No skid marks. No witnesses. Just a single vehicle crash on an empty road. And one tiny detail. Richard was the last person to see her alive. I confronted Lila. "Did you ever question how your mom died?" She stiffened. "What are you implying?" "Nothing," I said. "Just strange, isn't it? How your dad never talks about her." Her eyes flickered doubt. And that's when I knew. Richard had secrets. Darker than infidelity. Darker than anything I could have imagined. 2 days later, Richard showed up at my door. No suit. No charm. Just cold, quiet rage. "Stop digging," he said. I smirked. "Or what?" He stepped closer. "You think you're clever? You think you could destroy me?" I held up my phone. "I already have." His fist clenched, but he didn't swing. Instead, he said 5 words that changed everything. "She wasn't in the car." Then he walked away, leaving me with one horrifying question. If Claire didn't die in that accident, where is she? Richard's words haunted me for days. She wasn't in the car. What the hell did that mean? If Claire hadn't died in the accident, where was she? And why had Richard let everyone believe she was dead? I had to find out. I broke into Richard's study. Not my proudest moment, but after everything he'd done, encouraging my wife's affair, manipulating her, lying for years, I didn't care about playing fair anymore. His desk was locked. I pried it open. Inside, I found a file labeled CW. Claire Whitmore. My hands shook as I flipped through it. Medical records, a psychiatric evaluation, and then a photo. Claire alive, but not in a hospital, in a private facility. Dated 3 months ago. The place was called Havenwood Retreat, a fancy name for what was clearly a high-end mental institution. I lied my way inside, pretending to be a distant relative. And then I saw her. Claire, older than in the wedding photos, her blonde hair streaked with gray, but unmistakably Lila's mother. She sat by a window, staring blankly outside. When I said her name, she turned slowly. "Do I know you?" she asked. "I'm Lila's husband," I said. Her face changed. "Lila." She whispered the name like a prayer. "Is she okay?" "She's fine," I said carefully. "But Richard told everyone you died." Claire's hands trembled. Then, in a voice so quiet I barely heard it, she said, "He put me here." The story spilled out in broken pieces. Claire hadn't been in a car accident. She'd been locked away. "I found out about Richard's affairs," she said. "Not just one, many. He had a pattern. He liked controlling women. When I threatened to leave, he had me declared mentally unstable." My stomach twisted. He did the same thing to Lila. I realized. What? Claire's eyes widened. Not the institution, but the control. The manipulation. He wanted her marriage to fail. He encouraged her affair. Claire covered her mouth. "Oh God, he's doing it again." I didn't go to Richard. I went to Lila. I played her the recording of her father. Then I showed her the photo of her mother. "Your dad lied," I said. "Your mom's alive. He locked her up because she tried to leave him." Lila's face went pale. "No, he's been manipulating you," I said. "Just like he did to her." For a second, she didn't move. Then, she picked up her phone and called Richard. "We need to talk. Now." What happened next was chaos. Lila confronted Richard. He denied it at first. Then, when she threatened to go to the police, he snapped. "I did it to protect you," he roared. "Your mother was unstable. She would have ruined our family." Lila screamed at him. "You ruined our family." The next day, she filed a report. Claire was released from Havenwood within a week. Richard? He was arrested for fraud, unlawful confinement, and psychological abuse. And Mark, the guy Lila had cheated with? Turns out, Richard had paid him to seduce her. Lila and I didn't get back together. Some betrayals cut too deep. But we did something better. We co-parented Mia without hatred. Claire moved in with Lila, rebuilding the relationship stolen from them. As for Richard, last I heard, he was fighting his court case from behind bars. And me? I finally slept peacefully, because the man who tried to destroy my life had destroyed his own instead. Now, I want to ask you, if you were in my place, what would you have done? Would you have exposed Richard right away? Would you have forgiven Lila? Or would you have done something even darker to get revenge? Comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Would you have taken revenge?